Do I need to change my CV for every job? This is a question that most job seekers keep asking themselves whenever they want to send an application for a particular position. Today in this video, we are going to shed more light on the difference between a generic and a targeted CV and how best you need to tailor your CV for the specific roles that you are applying for. As usual, my name is Mary and I am joined by one of our CV writing experts, Ruth, who will be expounding more on this subject. Thank you so much, Ruth, for joining.
Thank you.
Great. Now, let us just dive into it. I know there is what we refer to as a generic CV and a targeted CV. What's the clear difference between the two?
So first of all, people have to understand when applying for a specific job, that is a targeted CV. When not applying for any job, that's a generic CV. Let me break it down. For a targeted CV, it's tailored, it's customized for a specific role in a specific organization. But for a generic CV, it's general. It gives a general overview of your skills and experience. Like, let's say you are experienced, you have worked in accounting. So you have worked in accounting, but in different organizations, and you have done other things. So for that, you are not targeting any job, you're not targeting any role. You just want to tailor your CV to make it stand out. Now for that, you're making a generic CV. Everything will be general.
Captured what you've done.
So it will be a general, that's a generic CV. But for a targeted CV, you have seen a role in accounting, finance and accounting. So you have to tailor your CV for that specific role.
Maybe in that industry.
Yes. Make sure your skills align perfectly with what they were looking for the requirements. Make sure your experience also align with what they are looking for. So that's the difference between a targeted and a generic. But for most people, you find someone using the same CV applying for each position.
Like the generic one.
Yes. You have to make sure you are tailoring your CV each time you are applying for a new position. Make it, customize it to what you are targeting, customize it for that role and for that particular organization. At least it gives you high chances of being called for an interview.
Now, talking of a targeted CV, because I believe that's the best every time we are applying, how can a targeted CV increase my chances of getting noticed by my potential employer?
So, as I said, a targeted CV, it focuses on a specific role and in a specific organization. So it increases your chances of getting noticed by your employer because they are in the job description, they rate what they are looking for. There are certain skills they are looking for, there are certain qualifications they are looking for. And if you have customized your CV, you have made it look for what you are targeting, you are going to capture those things they are looking for. And if those things are captured in that, if the employer or the recruiter looks at the CV at first glance, they will see the key things they are looking for. So a targeted CV, it increases your chances of getting noticed by the employer or the recruiter because it goes directly to what they are looking for.
It addresses the pain points.
It emphasizes on exactly what they are looking for.
And of course, chances of you being called for an interview is
very high.
Interesting. Now, in general, what's the benefit of tailoring my CV for a specific role?
So as we said, we talked about it, it increases your chances of getting an interview. So benefits of it is that it gives you a fast chance. You know, when I put a job description out there and they say I'm looking for a sales girl, and they say I need someone who is a certain height, a certain weight, certain complexion, then you send your CV indicating those things I'm looking for. When I first see the height I'm looking for, I will be more interested to go through the CV because I've seen one thing that I'm looking for. So it gives you, at least it gives you high chances of being called for an interview, and also it boosts your confidence. When you apply for something and you have seen what they are looking for and you capture what they are looking for in that your CV, you'll be confident in yourself that at least I got like 90% of what they are looking for. So when you're called for an interview, at least you'll know what to say and how to present yourself.
So it is always important to go through the job description and tailor your CV, like customize it to match what that employer is looking for.
Yes.
Interesting. What would be your final advice to someone watching this video?
So my final advice, in any position you're applying for, any role, any job, make sure first of all you go through the role, perfectly, understand what they are looking for and what it deals with. Research about the organization also. Don't just apply to any organization. Research and know if it really exists, and always tailor your CV for specific roles, each position. Don't just use the same CV to apply for any position you see. Make sure you tailor your CV for each position you are applying for, and also always go through the job description very well and understand it fully.
Interesting. Quite a number of things to pick up from our conversation. I believe this has been insightful to someone who is watching. Thank you so much for your time. Great. If you have been wondering whether you need to have so many CVs or just have one specific CV, a generic one, when you're applying for different positions, I believe from this conversation you've been able to get some insights on how to customize or how to have a targeted CV for a specific position that you are applying for. We do encourage you every now and again to keep customizing your CV to match the position you are applying for, because this is what will increase the chances of your CV being noticed by your potential employer. Share with us your current up-to-date CV, or even the link to the job description, the position that you are applying for, and Ruth, together with her team, will be able to reach out and advise appropriately. We look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.